welcome everyone. This is the first governance call of Covalent. I mean, we laid down the foundation for this on April 28th when we put the Covalent network out. And this was like the thing that we wanted to do in order to make sure that, yeah, there is like the wider community that can participate in different things that we essentially want to do. So yeah, welcome everyone. This is great. Before we kick off and before I send this to Ganesh, since everyone's here, I want to kind of just lay down a few rules or a few things just I can share with you. Feel free to play around with the interface. I see Jackie, she's already welcoming everyone. So there's that message box where you can put your messages. You can also raise your hand if you have any questions. I mean, it is also possible to send questions anonymously if you want to. So that's there too. So just to kind of define what's there, we're keeping it very simple for the first call. This is going to be an introductory call. We'll talk about what's happened, what we are looking forward to with this governance forum, with this governance structure system that we are bringing in place. So yeah, pretty exciting. We're all here. We're all excited to welcome you, and over to Ganesh to kick things further.
Thank you, Prateek. Hey guys, Ganesh from Covalent. Many of you guys have seen me on the videos that I've now become a fan of. I used to be very shy, camera shy, but now I realize that this is the only way to get in front of our community. The face-to-face hasn't happened in a very long time. It's been over a year since I set foot on a flight. So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on what this call is about. This is just the kickoff, so there's not going to be any governing here. So if you're a politician looking for some fights, this is not it, at least not yet, maybe on the next governance call. So the first item to discuss is, I'm so grateful for the community to step in and participate in our public sale. I know many of you guys have stayed up almost all night. Some of you guys have had to stay on for like 10+ hours. I know it was disappointing to some of you that the sale sold out in less than half an hour in some cases, less than 10 minutes in some cases. So it's very humbling to see that we've been building Covalent for the last 3.5 years. And now as we open up Covalent and open up to the community, not just from a token holder's perspective, but also from a governance, to see how much excitement there is around Covalent. So truly humbled and truly grateful for the interest that has been shown. So the sale hasn't completed yet. I think there is some more bullet points that need to be completed, but the announcement will go out next week with regards to the sale. So I'm just going to let Adrian share some notes on what to expect next if you participate in the public sale. Of course, if you were part of the private sale, the comms will go out on a separate venue. This is primarily focused on the coin list and the associated events. Adrian, can you please share what can be expected next?
Certainly, thank you, Ganesh. So to be clear, I would characterize the public sale as being 99% complete, or almost. So even though we say it's not complete till May 6th, it is pretty much almost complete. And I can say that with confidence because Eric and I just got off a call with CoinList as well. So that's the latest information. So it's amazing. As Ganesh said, we are humbled and really appreciate the incredible support. And the numbers were truly remarkable, and the speed too. So congrats to everyone who got in, and unfortunately some did miss out. And and that's just kind of the way it is, again, just because of the incredible demand. So I think one a very important point is there is not going to be an option 4. And so we just want to be very clear about that. I think some of the sales that came before us, so not Covalent, but previous sales, they did have option 4s, but those were for their own reasons, and I can't really speak to those. I think they did what they did for their reasons. But our sale again is it's 99% complete, and what I mean by that is also funded, right? So really, there's nothing like leftover tokens or something like that. Apart from very, very few just remaining steps there to finalize things. So other than that, please, for those who were successful, stay tuned. CoinList will be contacting you. Obviously, the next big step there is to receive your tokens, right? So Ganesh has documented the CQT is an ERC20 token, and you can watch that video if you haven't, where he talks about the benefits of the CQT token specifically. But that does mean if you have a wallet, you can receive your tokens into that when CoinList distributes it. The distribution will not take place till on or before June 5th for option 1. So option 1 was the option where the tokens are unlocked. So there is again sort of a 30-day distribution policy for based on CoinList, and so even though they are unlocked, so to speak. So sorry, just to be clear, the tokens. This is also very important to establish. The tokens do not exist on Ethereum right now, right? So if you see CQT being traded anywhere, that's certainly not our token. And the reason for that is, of course, the token generation event itself is a trigger for option 2 and option 3, and their unlock schedules are connected to that. So option 2, so just to recap, option 1, you'll get your email from CoinList about how you receiving the tokens on or before June 5th. And for option 2, after TGE, 1 month later is when 1/12 will be unlocked, right? And for option 3, 1 month after TGE, 1/24 will be unlocked. And then periodically, each of those options will receive 1/12 and 1/24 of the unlock respectively. So that's it really in terms of next steps. CoinList will be communicating to all the successful participants. Again, congratulations to everyone who got in, and thank you. We are very humble and grateful.
Thank you, Adrian. So we have room for a Q&A at the end. So definitely open to all kinds of questions. We're a transparent and open project. The second thing, which is probably the person who has the funnest job here, which is Jackie and the Alchemist Program. So many of you guys have spoken directly with Jackie. Those 6 a.m. calls, I've been into 1 or 2 of those calls. I'm looking forward to the ones coming up. But season 3 of the Alchemist Program was closed as of last week, and we finalized the numbers. So Jackie, can you just give us like 1 or 2 bullet points on when would people expect to be notified about the Alchemist Program and the next steps there?
Yeah, for sure. I'm just moving into another room because the mowing the lawn is getting a lot louder. Yeah, no, we actually just sent out emails to people who got accepted into season 3. So we're welcoming another 700 to our existing 600 family of alchemists. So we'll have a total of 1,300 for the season that started, and have had a lot of people already joining our Discord. They're eager to get the roles assigned, to start on the tasks, and starting to do like a lot of the fun missions. There's tons of new features that have been added to season 3, and I'm excited to be integrating a lot of those just to create more engagement. And this is all based off on the feedback that we got from all the alchemists and OGs from season 1 and season 2. So it's really a community-driven program where you guys get to dictate where the program goes, what tasks to do, things that we need to add in order to just create different opportunities for people who want to get involved in that. And yeah, we'll continue to launch even more regional communities, which we have 23 right now, and that was just in a matter of like a month and a half. So we have more people really interested in spreading Covalent's message and integrating like their communities, which has been great. And yeah, so it's been a lot of fun. If you didn't have a chance to register or you missed the date, we do have season 4 coming up in June, where we will look to be adding another 700. So we will have a total of 2,000 alchemists in just a matter of like 2 or 3 months. But yeah, tons of ways to get involved. But yeah, no, none of this would have been possible without the OGs and a lot of the other alchemists. So like big shout out to you guys.
Jackie, did you also say that by end of the summer, you're going to be able to say one unified API, 1 billion possibilities in 20 different languages? Is that a personal challenge of yours? Maybe
So
not, maybe yes.
Need to download Duolingo or like start.
But it's so cool to
more.
see that logo and it says in different languages. But yeah, I need to practice saying that. It sounds so cool. Okay, great. I think the Alchemist program, we've been so thoughtful when it comes to building the product. And I think we've put the same level of thought and care into building our community. So the Alchemist program is this leadership and growth program that we've initiated. And so far, I can say that the growth there, the success, the passion that we've seen from this community is unparalleled in this space. So this is, I think, the true way to build a community, people who really understand Covalent, people who really understand the value of data and the value of transparency and live within that ethos. So very grateful for the OGs and the other alchemists who have really stepped up. The third bullet item I want to discuss is the upcoming hackathons. So just because now the sale is done and all that stuff doesn't mean that we're going to take a product and developer outreach is going to take a backseat. In fact, if anything, we're going to step up on that. Put the pedal to the floor and scale up. I'm not sure how much I can share on this. It's not my story to say, but I will put Harish on the spot here and let him share what's coming up with regards to the hackathons.
Yeah, we're super excited on that front. So first off, for everyone who participated in the latest 1 Million Wallets Avalanche event, thank you. We had over 200 wallets built, had some fantastic hackathon submissions, and just a general engagement with the community, solving our puzzles, taking part in our sort of community challenges. And what was really exciting about this one was the fact that we actually had some alchemists building our content, and that's going to be the model going forward, where we definitely engage the community to help build out some of this fantastic content for engaging the broader community. So next up, we have our next edition of Dungeons and Data, and I can't quite reveal just yet who that's going to entail, but the announcement will come out on Thursday, so stay tuned for that. It's a massive project that we're partnering with on this, and so in parallel with that will be some very large prizes. So that's our first hackathon, our next event taking place, and that will run, I believe, May 13th till the end of May. And then we are just finalizing the details on yet another version of 1 Million Wallets with an even larger partner. So they just keep getting bigger and bigger, which is very exciting. And the announcement for that will probably come out in a week here as well. So stay tuned, lots going on, and love to, again, engage the community, both for helping build the event, but also participating and winning some juicy bounties.
What's very interesting about the upcoming hackathons is we've opened up our playbook. So I believe there's going to be a heavy involvement by the alchemists, by members of the community in really shepherding these hackathons. So it's really cool to see how the grassroots ideation and execution has taken is starting to play out. So very cool to see that. And so the final piece is, I actually lied. There is a point to govern. I was trying to pull a Steve Jobs, but I just realized I don't have my black turtleneck here. But one more thing, we do have a governing proposal to govern. And someone was kind enough to propose on our governance forum, which is gov.covalenthq.com, which is adding support to Solana. Now, Solana is a very interesting blockchain. Kudos to that team for thinking something from the bottoms up, from first principles on how to build a sufficiently fast blockchain. So they're very novel consensus algorithm love the team, love their hustle, love their branding. But generally, we have a process in terms of how we add support to a particular blockchain. So I'm going to let Eric share that process and how we are going to essentially enlist or recruit the community to govern whether we want to add this support to this blockchain or not. So Eric, on to you.
Yeah. Hey guys. So as Ganesh said, we're big fans. We're big fans of what Solana's doing. They have an exceptional product, exceptional team. We do have a criteria which we've looked at. The way we generally look at things is EVM-based chains are our top priority. They're the easiest to do. We've done probably close to our 10,000 hours mastering that. So if you look at a lot of the blockchains we work with today, there's Binance Smart Chain, there's Matic or Polygon, Ethereum, obviously, because all of these have similar infrastructure. So it expedites how fast it gets to market. That's one of the key things. The other thing that we look at is traction. So, we can index a chain, we can hope people will use it, but if there's just no traction on the chain, then there's not a lot of there's nothing there to index. Because if you're pulling all of the data, but there's no data to be pulled and they're all empty blocks, Covalent's kind of useless. That being said, that if there's a lot of requests or people who are coming to us asking, saying, hey, we need this, we have a project we want to build, we're always going to be receptive. We're always going to listen to that. And we're always going to hear it. I mean, if there was 100 people who came tomorrow and said they wanted to build on Moonbeam, well, okay, Moonbeam's a bad example because we're going to be building on Moonbeam. So we're going to be indexing Moonbeam. But if people come and there is a demand and it's the developers who are requesting it, we're 100% receptive to it. Developers in the community are our first priority. And if people need the data, we'll go out of our way to get it. For projects that are non-EVM based, like Solana, which is very difficult, I think one of the biggest problems is finding the right talent to be able to do it. It's really complicated. It's not like anything else. Like we already said, they're doing something very, very different. If somebody wants that job and someone wants to work on it and make that their life's work, DM me, message me on LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever it is. We'll talk about it. We've talked to the Solana team a lot about this, and they've even said they want Covalent support. They think it's an essential part of their infrastructure, and I tend to agree. Yeah, we want to do it. So anything that's non-EVM, that sort of falls out of the scope of what we're doing, but we're always looking to hire to make that a reality. So hopefully that answers the questions. If not, just tweet me or DM me somewhere on something, and I'll get back to you. But yeah, I'll pass it back to Ganesh.
Yeah, so thank you, Eric, for that. Yeah, I mean, we have a checklist. Do you have a professional node operator who's running your nodes? So we believe, that's another complementary service, for example. Okay, I think that's basically it with the key bullet items. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the floor to questions. Pratik, how should we do this in terms of taking questions? Do you want to drive this?
Yeah, so like everyone here can see, there is a Q&A box. You can directly ask questions there. We have a few questions that trickled in before the webinar. So one question was about, did the issues raised by QuantStamp have been solved? So not sure if there was an issue, but someone has asked that question. So Ganesh, do you want to address that?
Absolutely. So the engineer who built those contracts is probably in the top 1 percentile of the smart contract engineers. He built all of Matic's smart contracts, which is now currently called Polygon. He built that entire system. So we've recruited him to build these smart contracts. Yes, they made some valid concerns, but you also have to think about this. These auditors have to point out some flaw somewhere, whether it has any grounding or not. Otherwise, they're not, it's like, why are you paying for a report that is empty, right? They have to show something. So not all of it carries weight, but we have addressed every single bullet point on their list of recommendations. The contract itself is a very, very simple ERC20 contract. So I would say we've taken a second opinion with Certic, who has also come in. And so we should balance the two audit reports.
Fair enough. Yeah, that was the only question we got, but yeah, open to more questions. So there's an anonymous question: how do you handle with growing data every day in your database side?
So this is a technical question, and this is a question for Levi. Many of you guys don't know, but Levi is the technical genius behind the scenes. A lot of people, I think it took him 3 years to update his profile picture. But yeah, here he is. So Levi, I will let you take on this question.
Sure. So we have an ever-growing amount of data. And currently, it's surprisingly not what you would call big data. We don't have to get involved in all of these complex tools that large mainframe companies try and push on people, like Hadoop and things like that. We don't need to use any of that. Our data is still, you could fit it on a hard drive that you probably own. All of the blockchains we support together right now, they add up to about 3 terabytes. We try and make things more and more efficient over time. We don't just use the upstream node software. We don't just use the first thing that we think of when we want to do a database design. It's all with the goal of trying to keep things compact and not storing any information that we don't actually need to answer customer queries. We just store the data that's useful and the data that can actually be used analytically. So we don't hold on to anything that was important for just answering questions about the block itself. Like we with the data that we currently have in our database, we couldn't build something like Etherscan because that's block level debugging type data. It's data to tell you things about the network that produced the block. We don't care though about the network that produced the block. We care about the actual financial information encoded in the consensus state of the chain. So that turns out to be much smaller than all the stuff that went into it. It's a big process that produces a little result, but it is still growing. And because it's still growing, we do actually have to scale every once in a while, but it's not growing at a tremendous rate. I think the last time that we upgraded our database, we upgraded, we do a vertical upgrade process for now, as in we're just taking our database and growing it to ever larger instance sizes. This is our main master database, so we have replicas of it that are live, but they all have to be the same size as the main system in order for it to function. The last time that we doubled all of that was a month ago. Before that, we doubled everything, I think, a year ago. So it doesn't grow that quickly. But when it does, when we do that doubling, we get double everything. We get double IOPS from our disks, because double the space means double the reserved number of disks that we put in RAID, and everything gets faster. We scale out the number of front-end systems that we use to answer your queries. We scale out the number of CPUs and the amount of memory and all of that, and it works quite well. We will easily be able to double, I think, about 8 more times before we start having to look into really exotic things to solve these problems. We're currently well within the scale of something that any reasonably motivated person could run on their own if they wanted to invest just their paycheck into doing this. And that's one of the main reasons that we expect query nodes in the Covalent network will work, because the scope of this is such that if you are just running it for one network, it's something you can run on your computer. It's not that big. We do surprisingly complex number crunching and surprisingly thorough answers with not very large data. It's all about the skill involved in getting it down to that size and still being able to index it efficiently, rather than the scaling challenges involved in having all of this data laying around in its fluffy default format, and then having to figure out how to throw enough machines at it to get it to work. we try and solve those problems ahead of time rather than them coming back to bite us. So I hope that answered your question.
We can speak for hours and hours on this, but I think we should probably do a video on near protocols, the whiteboard series. I think there's a lot of interesting database engineering work we can do here. The next question is, can you give a date for Binance listing? Unfortunately, I cannot. What is the next question? What is the difference?
So yeah, there's a question from an anonymous attendee asking about the newly added alchemists, and does it matter if they didn't get into the pre-sale? So you mentioned about wallets and CoinList.
No, it doesn't matter.
Adrian, yeah.
No, they're not connected. You know, the Alchemist program and the public sale, like they're two different things. You know, at some stage, of course, Alchemists will take custody of their CQT, and you know that takes place later. And Ganesh may want to say a few words about the dashboard or that's coming in the near future.
Absolutely. So first off, the public sale in the Alchemist program, we have allocated 1% of our supply towards the Alchemist program to fund the Alchemist program. So these are totally unrelated things. So whether you participate in the public sale or not is immaterial with regards to the Alchemist program. You're going to get that airdrop regardless of the public sale. The second thing is the numbers are getting larger and larger, right? So we have 700 from season 2 and then 25 before that. So quickly we've crossed 1,000 people. This is like 1,000 people really jumpstarting the community. So you can look at our Discord and we have a spinning logo, which is so cool to see, right? So all of this is Alchemist. One of my favorite things is my wife says, are you paying attention to me? I say, no, I'm at work. And they say, no, you're just looking at the meme channel on Discord. It is, but it's work, right? So the thing here is that the work is so much that we need a proper organization. We started out with the ClickUp and all of those processes, but they're starting to formalize all of this with a dashboard. So you can think of it like the airline miles rewards dashboard, where you log in and then all of the things that you've earned air miles and the places where you can spend the air miles, right? So here, that currency is CQT. So for tasks that you submit, there's going to be full tracking, and then you can either withdraw it to your wallet and then stake it, or swap it. It's up to you. So we're creating this full dashboard, and everything is non-custodial. So everything is in the hands of the Alchemist. So that is shipping. So everything will be streamlined in terms of submitting your jobs, making sure it goes through the approval process. So it'll be your personalized dashboard. So that's coming down the line.
And thanks to all the alchemists who have helped with automation, help Jackie with automation and bots and things like that behind the scenes.
There are a couple of questions around the difference between the graph and Covalent. There's one specific, I think that has been answered a lot. We can still touch upon that. But the specific question is also about how is it, what's the main difference between us and, yeah, Kylin is also mentioned. That's an open source analytics tool. So Ganesh, do you want to take that?
Yeah, I've touched upon this question many times over the past. So definitely look at maybe CoinGecko podcast. I've given a pretty solid answer there. But I think the difference comes down to philosophy. And our philosophy is to give everything, all the data that's required in the least amount of time. That's really where our product principles come from. What that means is that the product should be usable from the browser without writing a single line of code, without downloading any software or installing software or compiling software or deploying software. So that's really what our philosophy comes down to. So you can literally go to our API reference documentation and get the balances of any wallet across 8 different blockchains right from your browser without even lifting your finger. Maybe to click try now, right? You need to click your finger for that. You need to lift your finger for that. So that is really where our product comes from. In the case of the graph, the key difference is that you need to write a subgraph to understand what the protocol is. So simple questions like give me the list of ERC20 assets in your wallet requires a full deep copy or a replica of the blockchain which the graph doesn't do. So I think that's fundamentally the difference. So in their case, they extract data from the blockchain, the subgraph does the transformation, and then you can query it. In Covalent, we just directly extract and load the data, and then you transform at query time. So another analogy to think about this is using Excel. So Covalent is this one giant Excel sheet with every single balance, every single position, every single transaction, every single log event, everything that's on one sheet. And what we ask our developers and our users to do is pivot tables on top of the base data. So pivot tables you can do in Excel using drag and drop. It's really that simple. So in the case of the subgraphs, each subgraph is its own Excel sheet, and they're all formatted differently. They don't really talk to each other. So that's the high level difference.
There's one specific question, and this is something I've been getting in DMs too. It's about the CQT staking, and when will it start? And will it be available to stake CQ? Will they be able to stake CQT when it's vested in CoinList?
So the staking is, we're going to be offering two staking options. One is the liquidity mining, liquidity staking option, which is for the token holders to deposit liquidity into a Uniswap or a SushiSwap or a 1-inch trading pair. So we're going to provide additional rewards there to incentivize that pool. So that is going to ship from day one. So the minute your tokens are unlocked, that's available to you. So we're actively building those contracts. The second kind of staking is delegating your tokens to an indexing node or a query node so that they're able to do the service of the Covalent network on your behalf. So that is coming down the line. That's not ready yet, but we will be shipping with a pretty generous staking program from day one, the minute the TG and all of that's happened. So everything will come with time. So your token should never be idle in your wallet. The second part of that question is vested and locked tokens. The answer is no. The staking only applies to unlocked tokens, and this is the norm across the board, not just CoinList, but anyone. If your tokens are locked, staking is not an option at this time. What about adding? Yeah.
There's a question around who will run the query and indexing nodes, a community or some professional node runners.
So we've recruited 4 professional validator organizations to run the Covalent network, and they're helping us with bootstrapping this network. And those 4 partners are Anchor, Figment, Chorus One, and Stake with Us. And these guys have data centers in North America. So Figment is in Canada, Chorus One is in Europe, Stake with Us is out in Singapore, and Anchor is also in North America. So they're going to run the nodes, but our vision is for anyone to go to GitHub and download a Docker container and participate in the network. I think that's the promised land which we want to go to. How about adding gRPC protocol for the API? This is actually a great question. Andre, please reach out to us. I've never seen this question before, but I personally want it. So take note, engineering team, let's add gRPC. It's a very, very nuanced question. But yes, I think HTTP has a lot of overhead.
Is there going to be a bridge between Ethereum and other blockchains?
So this is a very interesting question. The settlement is going to happen on Moonbeam. So the CQT to the proxy CQT is going to go through a bridge. But what I believe will happen in the future is that a lot of these centralized exchanges will have direct withdrawal to a layer 2 chain or a layer 1 chain. So you will want to add some kind of bridge from all the maximum. It's like, you have New York City and you have all these bridges going into downtown. So you will need that kind of bridging system. It's unfortunate that the technology is not robust yet, but you can see today OKX announced withdrawals to Arbitrum. So I think it is a possibility. The technology is not ready. This is a problem that everyone is grappling with, and so with time there will be an answer there. Possibility of 400. Sorry, I can't do price speculation. How do you prevent a heavy query from crashing your system? So we have safeguards in check. So I think our queries, they're limited to 30 seconds. The queries that actually need to scan the full blockchain can be pushed onto another queue. But ultimately, what will happen with the decentralized network is that you'll have different kinds of query nodes that answer simple questions, like give me a list of ERC20 assets in your wallet, as opposed to what is the historical gas price of this particular contract. So some kinds of query workloads are a lot heavier. So there'll be different kinds of query nodes to service these requests, and the economics will make sure that these guys are properly incentivized.
Yeah, I think that's it. We don't have any more questions.
Amazing. Okay, so that amount of tokens for running a node, we are working on that. This is a very common question. Today, we do not know how many tokens you need to run a node. There are some rough back of the envelope discussions, but please take a look at our knowledge base. Everything that we put out will be shared on that knowledge base. So when the time comes, we will be sharing those numbers.
There are a couple of technical questions. Covalent has RESTful API. Will Covalent support Graph API in the future?
This is a really great question. So if you think about REST API versus GraphQL style APIs, the real power of GraphQL is providing these advanced features like sorting and filtering and in some cases, even aggregation. It depends on how the GraphQL endpoint is built. We've taken a different approach. What we've done is we've cloned the MongoDB query language. MongoDB is a very popular language. 5 million people across the globe know how to query MongoDB. So we've bolted that onto the API responses. So you can just use the MongoDB query language to do filtering and sorting and projections and aggregations right at query time instead of writing anything behind the scenes. So that is our approach. It's different from bolting on a GraphQL API. We could add a GraphQL API. The challenge is you have to go back and define the GraphQL schema, which is custom, right? So we want to get away from all of that stuff. So this language is we're calling it Primer, and you can look at our knowledge base. There's some Primer examples. You can filter, sort, aggregate, project. So there's this beautiful query out there where you can get the historical interest rates from one of the money markets in Aave, aggregated daily for the last 30 days in one API call without writing a single line of code. So that's really telling you the power of Primer.
There's one more question. Would Celo not actually be a good candidate since it's ERC20 and EVM compatible?
It's a great candidate. So if someone opens up a proposal, talks to us about the indexing side of things, definitely add Celo. I think Eric is very close to the Celo team.
Yeah, and then one thing that we'll be doing is like getting guests from different projects who can essentially be a part of these governance calls. So if they have anything they want to share with you that can add value to the Covalent network, the whole ecosystem, I think they can also discuss it with all of us on this call. So yeah, that's something that we'll be doing it from the next call onwards.
Yeah, there's a lot more technical questions. So maybe what we should do is set up another AMA in a couple of days for the technical questions. But I'll answer one last question before sharing some closing thoughts.
Yeah,
sorry. Without writing a single line of code, do you mean someone from your team be writing that code? The answer is no. So what we've done is we've built the mechanism to extract the data from the blockchain and present it as is, because our belief is that the schema of the data structures is on the blockchain. It's what the API is, it's what those contract structures are. So there's no reason for another curation step or something in between. So we've written that mechanism. To use another physics analogy, you have all of this potential energy and you're moving it to kinetic energy. And what we've built is that transformer to convert the two energy forms. So that's what we've done. So if you look at the code to get token balances, the data is already on the blockchain. So there's no extra code that we need to do if you want to find out balances above a certain certain minimum balance, for example. So that's what I mean by no code. Okay, so we'll set something up for more technical sessions. I think that's cool. So closing thoughts. Thank you once again. It's been a mad rush. I cannot share how much work it has been to do a compliant token sale on CoinList. We first started talking to the CoinList team back in October. So it's taken us about 6 months of legal, work on the back end. Eric, you want to say something?
Yeah, I remember my first week. You need to get our token to market, and you've got to do it in it's like a month. It was like in 1 month we need this trading, and then it was figure out a blockchain to build on. And I was like, all right, let's figure this out. So it's funny to see where things went. It took a little longer, but I think we made some good decisions.
Yeah. So now that the public sale is ready, now it's about making sure the community is involved, making sure they're kept abreast of what's coming down the pipe. We are also recruiting some experts from the community to help us govern, because this is something that's brand new to us. Having guests, stepping up on the product, stepping up on the Alchemist program, all of that is in due course of time. So that's what is next for us, and we'll be doing this every month. But as you all know, that the entire team is very approachable. So definitely DM us, definitely message us, check us out on Discord. We are very active on YouTube as well. This week on Wednesday, I'm giving a talk on the Moonbeam developer channel. So we're also doing outreach on different channels. So yeah, let's keep in touch. Welcome all as part of the Covalent family now. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys. Thanks for showing up.